Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about this watch here. This is the GW2320 Fire Package watch for the year 2025. This came out a few months ago. As I'm sitting here, it's August, and this probably came out in January, February. I don't know what. I just kind of delayed a little bit looking for a good bargain, and I eventually did find a good bargain on this one. But what was fun about this one, the Fire Package watches that have come out in the past have been sort of Japanese-only releases. So yeah, if you wanted one, you had to kind of find someone in Japan that might send it to you and go through a few hoops there to get one. Not too difficult. But still, you wished that you could just go to Amazon or the regular Amazon website here in the United States or the Casio United States website and just order one, which this time you can. So this one is about $150 for, the typical retail price. I waited until it went on sale just about a month and a half ago at Amazon. I got it for closer to $110. So, that's kind of fun. This is the other part that goes with it, part of the Fire Package. They come in pairs with similar colors, and so the analog digital one, the AWG M100 version, is also out there. And I found a bargain on this one too through a JCPenney special summer discount coupon deal. So I didn't have to do anything too shady. I just waited for their sales and their coupons, and I got these. This one from Amazon, this one from JCPenney. But let's concentrate on this guy right here. This one has Multiband 6, which I love. It's one of my favorite features on some of these Casio G-Shock watches. Multiband 6 means there's a radio receiver built into this watch, and it's designed to receive atomic time information from any of 6 transmitters in different parts of the world, like the 2 that are in Japan, or the one in China, or the one in the UK, or Germany, or WWVB here in North America. So those are the 6. If you are out of range of those transmitters and you're just using this as a regular watch, say in South America, Australia, whatever, it'll run like a regular quartz watch, and it'll keep time with accuracy to within, I think it's plus or minus 15 seconds a month. But if you are regularly receiving atomic time information with this watch, then it's going to be accurate right down to the second, and imperceptibly, it could be fractions of a second off, but every day it's going to set itself, check itself, and it'll be just fine. So it starts at midnight every night to try to set itself, and it will try up to 5 or 6 times to double check itself and set itself. If it's successful in any one of those attempts to receive and process the atomic time data, then it won't try again until the next night. Otherwise, it'll just keep going, until 5 or 6 attempts. But so anyway, here's what you see in the regular timekeeping mode. You've got the hours, minutes, and seconds, and that can be either a 12-hour or 24-hour display. You've got the date there with the day of the week. If I press this button that's marked reverse, I could also have some other time zone displayed there. My world time zone and my local time zone could be displayed at exactly the same time on one screen if I do that, or I can have the date instead. Change modes, and that's when I can set the world time to some other time zone. If I press the forward button, it's like I'm going eastward on the map to select some other time zone, or I can reverse that and go the other direction, or if I get lost somewhere, then I can just press these 2 buttons together, and it takes me right back to a default UTC, time zone. Okay, next mode is my alarm and signal mode. So I've got an hourly signal either on or off, and I can select that up here with the reverse button. And then I have 5 alarms, and these can be easily set just like you would be used to doing on most digital watches. It'll be about the same. So, but the 5th alarm you should note is a snooze alarm, and that means that it'll beep, and then 5 minutes later it'll beep again, and it'll keep doing that up to 30 minutes after the initial alarm time that you've set. Next, you've got a stopwatch, and this is hours, minutes, seconds, and hundredths of a second, and it again works just like your typical stopwatch on digital watches. It'll go all the way up to 24 hours if you don't stop it, and then it will reset to 0 and keep on going unless you stop it and reset it. But you've got split time using this button up here. If I stop this, then I can show the stopped time. I can reset it, good stuff. Just a nice solid stopwatch. And a countdown timer, which is up to 24 hours. You can set hours and minutes. If you set it to all zeros, it will be a true 24-hour countdown timer, and so just let that run. If the countdown timer is actually running, While it's running, it won't be able to receive from the atomic time transmitter for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but if you just stop it, then the atomic time receiver will work just like it should. Did I mention this watch also has tough solar, which means there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch, and all you have to do is wear this watch, or when you're not wearing it, leave it in a place where it's going to get a little bit of daylight, maybe just in a regular room. It doesn't have to be anything special. If it gets exposure to everyday lighting conditions every day, then it should keep itself topped off. And right up there, there's an indicator of high, medium, or low to tell you how well charged the battery is. That also has an indication for the power save mode, which you can enable, and a little CHG. So when it gets really, really low, then that'll flash to tell you that you need to charge the watch up, which just amounts to putting it in a well-lit area and give it some light. If the battery is in the high or medium range, then it'll work fine. Everything works. But if it gets into low, then it starts to shut down some of the functions until you can charge it up again. So just keep that in mind. When I go to set up the watch, I'll press the adjust button until things start to blink. The first thing I want to set is my time zone, which in this case would be the Denver time zone. The time zones are named after major cities in those time zones. And so for me, that's the Denver or Mountain time zone. And again, using these buttons as though you're going westward or eastward on the map, easily enough to figure out what time zone you're using. Then daylight saving time. Do you want that to be on or off? So you can select that there, or you can have it change automatically depending on where you are. Next would be 12-hour or 24-hour display, and that affects all the modes of the watch. Then you've got here, you can manually set the time, seconds, hours, minutes, the year, the month, and the date. If you want to manually set those, you can do it. But if you set those to something that aren't the right time or date, then the next time it receives that information from the Multiband 6 receiver, then it will overwrite your manual settings to whatever the real time and date are. Next, mute. So it makes a lot of beeps when you press the buttons, when you have it in this key mode, but when you mute that, then it doesn't make as many noises as you're pressing buttons and changing modes and starting and stopping the stopwatch. It will still, even when it's in mute, you'll still hear the alarms, you'll still hear the hourly chime, and you'll still hear beeps at the end of a countdown timer, but you won't hear beeps on all the other things when you're adjusting the watch. The backlight can be set for 3-second duration or 1.5-second duration, depending on what you want there. Some people like the shorter duration because it saves on battery power, but since this is rechargeable, I figured leave it on the long duration and we can charge it up. That is the light button right there that has the G on it. And then there's the power save mode, which is on or off. And what this does is when it's on, when power save is on, then the watch at night, when you take it off after 10 o'clock, it'll sense that it's not being used. And if it's in the dark, then the display will go blank in order to save power. It's easy to take it out of that sleep mode by pressing any button or just shaking the watch because it has a motion sensor inside of it. Or you can also just expose it to good lighting and it'll bring that display back to life. And that's all the settings that you have there. Now, if I press and hold this light button, you'll see the letters LT right there indicating the automatic backlight is enabled. So if I press and hold it, I can turn that off. Okay, where is that? So, okay, no LT, or if I hold that again, it comes back on for LT. And what that does, the watch uses the solar cell in the face to sense whether or not it's in the dark. If it's in the dark, and you kind of lift it like that and kind of angle it towards yourself, then that will trigger the automatic backlight to turn on every time you do that. So kind of nice. Maybe something you don't want to use that if this is covered up. If you wear a jacket or shirt with long sleeves and this is covered up all the time, then it's going to think it's in the dark all the time. And it's going to be activating that backlight all the time. But I find it to be a useful function. I like to leave the automatic backlight turned on. Looking at the backlight on this watch, it's very interesting because it starts to look like it's a negative display. You get the lighter characters against a dark background. Now the same watch or the same module with the previous version of it, just has the the LED backlight, that stays kind of that positive display. So it's interesting that this watch here on the right, that is a positive display LCD watch, but the backlight makes it look like a negative display. So it's very interesting to compare the two right there. Now compare them with the previous model that used the electroluminescent backlight, and you can see there's quite a difference there between the different versions. And that's it for now, the newest version of the GW2320 with a new module that was introduced last year. It's the 3537 module with that unique backlight that you may enjoy, and this being the Fire Package version with that unique color that has just a little bit of a purple or lavender tint to it. If you don't look too carefully, it just looks like some shade of metal finish, but it is just a little bit purple there. And again, it matches the analog digital watch that you could also get. That's all for now. And I hope, if you're interested in this watch, I've given you enough information to decide whether or not you actually want to buy one. And that's all I want to do is help you out because I love these watches and I want you to make a good decision if you want to buy one or not. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm making more episodes of the Good Timekeeping Show.